This is Steve Ridgel, and I've been struck recently. I've been in our daily reading. My wife and I have been reading through Moses' speech in Deuteronomy, and I'm struck by how many times he reminds them when they came to the promised land, they came in to live in cities they did not build and to harvest grain they didn't sow. It talks a lot about God's giving you this, not because you're so good, but in some cases because they were so bad. But I tell you what struck me from that. Three things that really struck me from that as I've thought about it. One is that a lot of the blessings we enjoy are because somebody else did the work for us. And I've thought about that a lot. When he said you're going to live in cities you didn't build. Wow. Thinking about that, I realize a lot of us in church situations, we're enjoying healthy churches because somebody else did all the work. There were elderships and preachers and hardworking Bible class teachers and deacons and just people that would do women's ministry and all sorts of things that made a healthy, functioning church that we get to live in and enjoy. For some of you, your spiritual life was really formed by your parents. You grew up in Christian families. And boy, we don't appreciate enough how much of our faith really came because somebody else did the hard. Now, maybe you go back generations in your faith. In both my wife and I's cases, one of our parents was a believer that converted the other one. My mom converted my dad. Marcia's dad converted her mom. And so they had to kind of work through how to find their faith, but we were blessed to inherit all that. Now, some of you are thinking, yeah, but I don't have that kind of family, and man, our church isn't all that healthy. Okay, then you know what you get to do? You get to work hard to make a healthy church because you're following Jesus. You need to work hard to have a faith family, a family that where faith is the center of that family, and you will start where someday you'll have kids or grandkids who will be blessed by what you've done, not by what they've done. Now, that's a great thing. And I'm struck by the grain. You're going to harvest grain you didn't plant and work for. And it just reminds me how many blessings in life that God gives us that we really can't work enough to have. I'm not saying none of you work hard at your jobs because you do. And a lot of us that do ranching or ag kind of stuff, we do work hard. But we all are very, especially ag and ranch people, are very aware how dependent on God we are. Rain at the right time. God blesses our crops sometimes. And, you just realize it doesn't matter how hard you work. You can't always guarantee the harvest. But God does. And I think we really need so many things in our lives. Whether you have a lot or have just what you need. We are blessed because most of the time, that's God showering his blessings on us way more than it is how hard we work or how smart we are. And then the final thing that really strikes me always, I think about it wasn't because you were better than everybody else. Sometimes it's easy as a Christian to kind of fall into the I'm better than. And I get where that comes from, by the way. I'm not sure that comes from an unhealthy place. Sometimes it comes from this kind of healthy thing. I was a real sinner. I found Jesus. I was forgiven. Now I'm living forgiven. And I am much better today than I was before. Even those of us that have been Christians a long time realize we are better today than we were. And that's fantastic. We should be. We should be getting better. But all that's because of Jesus. Nothing we have or can do, including how good we are, is because of how good we are. It's all because of Jesus and the Holy Spirit molding us. So I was just reading when Moses was telling the people about their blessings and just reflecting on how that affects us. So this is Steve Ridgel being thankful for all the foundation I've built on, being thankful for all the blessings I have that don't really come from what I do, and being thankful above all that it doesn't depend on how good I am, but how good God is.